Hi everyone, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. And we are, as always, your hosts,
Arne and Carlos.
And here we are. We've got our Christmas stocking. I mean, it's not Christmas anymore, and this is not a Christmas episode, and we're not crazy. Although Arne would love to start Christmas already now, but we're not.
No.
But we are here because we had this really fun knit along during Christmas. Every day in December, we knitted 6 rows. Except for December 8th and December 9th when we did the short row heel. A lot of people were knitting with us, which is fantastic. And we had a lot of new people that had never knitted before attempting to do the sock.
And then we saw some comments that some people gave up.
Yeah, we
think it's time to revisit the second easiest sock in the world.
Yeah, so this is a revisiting video. We are going to revisit the second easiest sock in the world. We're talking about the short row heel. As Arne said, some people felt discouraged about the difficulties of the heel. But remember, it's only difficult when you don't know how to do it. And when you know how to do it, it's super easy. So we've also gotten some emails. People were wondering if the pattern was wrong, but no, the pattern is correct. And what we're going to do today is take you step by step and show you how to do this heel so you can go back and practice.
Yeah. And it's correct. According to the way we do it, it's correct.
Yeah, and remember,
there's probably other ways to do it.
Of course, yeah. And remember, this is the second easiest sock in the world. If you are wondering what the easiest sock in the world is, it's an afterthought heel.
That's the afterthought.
But we're not going to do this today. So
this
Arne.
is the short row heel or the boomerang. I think it's called in Germany, it's called the boomerang.
It's a boomerang because it goes back and forth, kind of. So before we start showing, Arne, can you explain the principle of what's going to happen? What is it we're going to do?
You're going to make the heel in 2 operations. One is you knit back and forth with 1 less stitch on each row.
And that creates
a little like this.
Yeah, and you
circle, triangle.
And you kind of increase.
No, you just knit 1 less.
Oh yes,
and go back and forth.
That's what you do. Yeah.
And then on the step 2 is you knit all those stitches up again, because you have to go back to the same number of stitches, and that's how you create the heel. And that's maybe the part that is trickiest. I'm not sure, but we're going to go through all of them. And I took the red marker so I can mark what is the stitch we're talking about
on
the heel.
Yeah. So probably you're going to get an aha moment when you see this done now.
Hope so.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. And I put the yarn on these huge needles. So this is, if you pretend now that this is the calf of the sock, and I'm down to the heel. Yeah. And we prefer to work on 4 needles and knit with the 5th because we find it easier. If you want to do a circular or magic loop or 2 at once or whatever, you feel free to do that. But we always use the 4 needles. And the reason why is that it's easy to think. You don't have to think much because you know that 2 of the needles are always the heel. Yeah. So you work on these 2 needles.
Yeah, so pretty much these 2 are the heel, and then you've got the 3rd one
and the 4th.
And the 4th one, which are not in any way heels.
So let me see now. Actually, yeah, I just do it here. Now I have the beginning here, so I could actually start there and there, but let's do it here just so you see how it is. So the heel goes over 2 needles. So I finished the 1st needle, then you knit the 2nd needle, and then when you have 1 left...
Wow, these needles are very...
They make a noise. Yeah. So now when you have
It's a soothing and relaxing noise, I guess. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
See, now there's 1 stitch left. Then you turn your work like this. If it's an English written pattern, it says slip the 1st stitch with yarn in front or slip the 1st stitch with yarn in back.
And that would depend on whether you're going to knit or purl the next row.
Or it says slip purlwise or slip knitwise. In old Norwegian pattern, I haven't seen a new Norwegian pattern. Maybe this is changing now, but in the old days, it said slip one and purl or slip one and knit. In this case, now I'm on the purl side, the yarn is on the purl side. So I'm going to slip the first. Then you tighten this yarn up and then the yarn is on the finger behind the work again. And then you purl back.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Nothing.
What's going on?
Nothing. Nothing's going on. Nothing's going on.
Okay, now I'm going to purl back to the other needle. And then when I'm on the other side, I don't purl the last stitch.
Yeah. So this
is how it goes, the first steps. So now just let's do some fast forward because this takes time. It's like watching paint dry.
Yeah. Now people are going to say you're too fast.
But the plan is not to show you how I purl or how I knit.
No.
It's to show what is a slip stitch with yarn in front or yarn in back. And on the next step, you will see there's some other things we need to explain. So then there's one left on the needle. You don't knit it. You turn the work again. And now you're on the knit side.
And you just leave it there.
So yeah, so now the yarn is on the back already. So you slip the first without knitting it, and then you knit back.
And that creates the hole.
That creates a gap between,
or a hole, yeah, gap or a hole, yeah.
In the Norwegian pattern, I think it normally said knit to the stitch before the hole and then knit or purl two together.
So now look at the gap.
So now you see there will be a gap between the stitch you didn't knit
and it's supposed to be there.
This is how it's supposed to be. So now you just knit back and forth like this until you have a few stitches left on the two needles. Like that could be on a thinner yarn, I think maybe 6 on each needle should be good. So now you see there's the gap. So now you knit to the stitch before the gap. And now you turn and you purl back.
And what's going to happen is that gap is going to start moving.
The gap is not moving. Yeah, it's moving. Yeah. The gaps will go all the way to
because
the other side.
every time you stop.
Every time you turn the work, you create a gap. These needles are very heavy and very slippery.
And very noisy.
And noisy.
You didn't have any bamboo?
We probably have. There's like needles everywhere. So this is how it works. Now you just knit back and forth until you have done part one. So now let's purl. So see, there's still a few. So now there should be 2 left on the needle, and then you turn the work.
Yeah, so the first time you did it, you had 1 left and you turn. Now you're going to have 2.
Yeah.
And the time after that, you're going to have 3.
Yeah.
And so the gap will be moving.
Yeah, so now there's 2. You turn again.
So.
And yarn goes back.
And show the gap again.
On the finger. Oh, yeah.
And now the gap is after 2 stitches. Before it was after 1 stitch.
Now there will be, see, these are the big gap.
Yeah.
Like this. And I think the reason why it's in the English written patterns, we have to write, when you slip a stitch, we have to write it with yarn in front or yarn in back or slip purlwise or knitwise. I think it's depending, it's because the way people hold the yarn when you knit English style.
Yeah.
Because when the yarn, if you do something like this and it's on this side, maybe that's why you have to tell people where to put the yarn.
Yeah. But I mean, you slip as to knit or you slip as to purl.
Slip as knit or slip as to purl.
That's pretty much the...
If you don't slip that way, you will actually block the side stitches. And if you make a scarf or something, it's not nice because you want to have nice stitches on the side. And turn again.
So now you've got 3 stitches when you turn.
And slip, and the yarn goes back, and you purl back again.
So you see, it is actually very straightforward.
Yeah, but now I will show you how you close those holes, because that's something you do when you finish all this knitting and purling back and forth. Then it's time to close the
Be careful
hole.
with the needle on the table.
This is the pedagogic yarn. Is that the name?
The educational yarn.
Educational yarn.
Yeah. The needles are very clickety though. Clickety clack. Clickety clack. Click clack. Click clack.
It's music. Okay. Fast forward.
Well, you know it's going to annoy some people.
That's always something. Let's be quiet then and just listen to the clicking. Enter. Yarn in the front because you're on the knit side. You slip with yarn.
And how many stitches do you have that you didn't knit? 4?
No, there's 4 because
yeah.
this is the 4th slip stitch.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
But now I can start to fill the hole. So now you have to pretend that I have done
the whole
thing, and now I'm working.
Which means the gap has been moving inwards, and for every row, the gap has been moving in and in and in, right?
So then when you start to knit back again, you have to close these gaps. And that's when you knit the stitch before the gap and the stitch after the gap together, and then you do a left lifted increase, I think it's called in English.
So you actually decrease and then you increase.
Yeah, because you knit 2 together to close the hole.
And then you increase to replace.
Yeah.
Because you need to have the same number of stitches on the needle that you had before.
Yeah.
So you increase, you decrease and then you increase.
So see now, there's one more stitch, and that's the gap. Then you knit these 2 together like this.
Yeah.
And then you do the increase. And you do I think maybe it's called back increase, but or a left lifted increase, because now I'm going to mark it. So if you'll see, when you increase on this one.
Wow, you really brought out the artillery today.
I did. You don't go on this side to increase. You go back and increase on this side. But don't increase on number 2. See the one on the needle, that's number 1, the daughter. That's the mother, number 2, and that's the grandmother, number 3. So
who's going to get it?
So this is, see, that's the 3rd stitch, or the 2nd under the needle.
To the mother.
The grandmother.
The grandmother.
If you go to the mother, you
make a hole.
Make a hole. So you go to this one, and then you just lift the left leg, and you knit in that leg. And that's it.
And
then you turn the work. And this yarn goes to the back again.
And now you purl.
Purl back. And then you're going to close the holes on the purl side as well.
So you purl 2 together.
Then you purl 2 together and you do a lifted increase.
So purl 2 together and a lifted increase immediately after, so that you don't get less stitches than you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
Always work with the same number of stitches.
You have to get back to the right number.
Yeah.
But you will do that because it's on the part 2 when you go knit back that you knit 2 together, but that's also when you increase. There's no increasing on part 1. That's just turning.
That's just turning and making sure the gap is always moving inwards.
Yeah. So now let's go to the purl
Careful
side.
with the table again. Not because I'm too, afraid of the table. It's more the sound.
But this is a nice sound.
It's a nice clickety-clackety, very relaxing sound, yeah?
So, see, that's the gap. So now knit over purl 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Then I purl the stitch before and after together.
The gap, yeah.
The gap to close the gap.
And now
like this. And then you see there's 1, 2. I go down to this one. That leg.
Grandmama.
Grandmama. Then I go.
Granny.
Granny.
Yeah.
Put this one and purl in that one. Like this. And turn the work. And then you knit back.
Yeah.
So this is how you knit back and forth. And
once you finish
closing the gap. First you make the gap and then you close the gap.
it. And once you've done that,
then you start knitting around again.
You have the heel and it's done.
So this is how it should look. And when you finish the whole thing, if you still have some gap on these sides, just lift the bar. That means that if there's a gap at the end, just take one of the bars up and knit it together.
With an existing stitch.
With the stitch on the needle.
You don't want to create new stitches. You want to keep the number you have.
But to close the hole, if there's still holes, you can even go to the bar under. So you can take the bar that is under and just lift it up. And then you put it on the needle. And you knit these two together. And then you have closed the hole. But that's in the corners. Mm. I hope this is more clear, even with big needles.
Yeah. And all you need to do now is, now that you have this knowledge and probably have an aha moment, go back to the pattern, go back to the heel, and just follow directions as they are. Don't think anymore. Just grab your knitting, follow directions, do as you're told in the directions, and it should be okay.
Yeah, for the next time.
Yeah.
When there's a new sock coming.
Yeah. Well, or you can, if you're stuck on it and you want to continue, now you have maybe the possibility to do so.
Yes. I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
And you can do the formalities because I've been working here.
Yeah. Do you want to do shall I do the formalities with some, sound effects today? Yeah. So good. So we hope...
Some background music.
Some background needle music. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please give it a big thumbs up and engage and comment as well. That helps us a lot. If you're a subscriber, make sure to turn on your notification sign or bell so that you never miss an episode. If you're not a subscriber, become a subscriber, and because there's a lot of fun stuff here, and you want to be notified whenever we post something new. Mailing list, of course, is the best way to stay up with all our shenanigans. So make sure to go to our website at arnecarlos.com and subscribe for that. And while you're at our website, there's a lot of patterns there that you can download for fun. And consider joining our channel, become a member and help support the channel. And in return, we give you a lot of extra content, such as cooking episodes. We've got weekly 15-minute catch-ups. And there's even a monthly live stream where we give knitting help. And in order to become a member, all you need to do is go to our YouTube channel, look for the subscribe button, and next to that, you will find the join button.
Weekly catch-up?
Yeah, catch up, not ketchup, which we don't like in this house, do we?
I'm going to go and take some time out.
Yeah.
Time out.
Yeah, so time out. When people say take a time out, we hear Thai mat, which is Thai food in Norwegian. And now apparently a ketchup is what you put on your hot dog. Anyway, we're digressing. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye.
Bye.